Hey, folks, welcome to another August edition of What's Going On in the Experience here on Fox Sports 1280 in Rochester, New York, and iHeartMedia. And I'm the host with the mostest, Nate Brown Jr. And I got the crew in the building, my co hosts. I got Ryan V down at NYC. And of course, we got Joseph. Say it so, Minnesota Joe in the building. And I just want to say, if anybody have a birthday in August, happy birthday, August birthday, guys and gals. It's a whole bunch of you. And if I name names, I'll get messed up, but just let it know that we got you if your birthday is in August. What up, Ryan? How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing fantastic. Hello, Rochester. Hello, everybody. It's a beautiful day here in the Hamptons. It's a hot streak, man. I'm not even talking about sports. Day after day of a heat wave out here. I don't know what it's like in Rochester right now, but my God, we're barely holding
Well,
on.
well, it's been
Getting what we had.
raining.
You're getting what we had all the last week.
I'm sweating like a dog in a china shop, man. What can I
Well,
say?
90s, close to 100.
Every day.
well, Joe, I don't think you guys should be complaining, considering it be like 0 - 0 in like 2 months. Y'all should be happy.
I'm
That,
not complaining. After
okay.
the winter we had, I don't complain about the weather.
Yeah, man. When is in Minnesota? If anybody has never been there, it ain't no joke. It is no joke. It rivals the Hawk. And Joe, you from Chicago, Chi-Town. So when Lou Rawls talks about that Midwest and that Hawk, he got it right, bro. So I just, I love the hot weather right now. It's been raining a lot here, but I think they mess with the weather to make it rain. But that's just me and my conspiracy theorist joint. You know how I
We,
do.
we, could, we could use your rain.
Well, yeah, it's been raining here a lot, man. But it's
We got
okay.
a drought
Too
here.
too much ice, not enough rain up there. And the
Yeah,
ice up there will kill you in your car
Guess
and you're
what?
driving away.
In the
yeah,
boundary wall,
exactly.
they
And
say
but
that the
Ryan, it's
Brewers,
been raining down in New York too.
but listen to this.
Uh huh.
They say they can't control the fires around the boundary waters, and they're saying the fires won't end until the winter snow.
Wow.
Whoa. That's
Yeah.
that's some destroying of some property right there. I mean, that's crazy. Man, so like I said, wherever you are, just hunker in. Speaking of hunkering in, we're gonna start off with some sports, and I got to start right here because Joe was complaining. Hey, I get the lineup, and it's the Yankees and the Mets. We're gonna go straight to the Dodgers. Lost 7 in a row, and I don't know what's going on, Joe, with the Dodgers, but the
Mhm.
Cubs got their number. The Brewers are running up their back. And at the beginning of the season, everybody had Shohei and the boys. So, Joe, what say you, Minnesota Joe, about the Cubs peaking and the Brewers just streaking and staying right there? And let's not forget about the Boston Red Sox, who run like 15 or something like that in a row. But let's start
nine
with
straight,
the
nine
Dodgers.
straight wins. And the young boy for the Red Sox, Toll, struck out 14 last night or the
Yes.
other night.
So let's start with
Yeah.
the Dodgers. Why are the Dodgers stinking up the joint? They went and got another pitcher. I forgot who the new pitcher they got, Ryan, to add to the
Oh, you can't
Luis
bullpen.
forget
Scoba.
you can't forget Scooble, man.
That's
They
Scooble.
Scoba.
got the last Cy Young for the past 2 years. The
Here's
last
the
American
problem,
League
though.
Cy Young winner.
They can't hold a lead. Their bullpen is killing them.
Yeah.
But don't they
And
got
even Edwin
Diaz?
Diaz. And your boy out there blowing saves.
Their bullpen is killing them, man. They can't hold a lead.
Well, that sounds about
They've
that
been
sounds about some karma to me.
losing at the end of the games.
And just Kyle Tucker not playing like the same Kyle Tucker that they had in Houston. And a lot of the guys that they've had are just getting old. I mean, this could be the end. It's not easy to win 3 World Series in a row, let alone, I say 2 World Series in a row, let alone 3. So, I mean, by all measurable statistics, the Dodgers don't look like as good as they were, but it's the same story with the Yankees. It depends who returns from injury and in what form they're in, because the Dodgers have a starting five that if they weren't injured, arguably the best starting five of all time. It's right up there,
Arguably,
Joe. It's
It's right
right
up.
up there, Joe.
See, the Braves, I look at the Atlanta Braves back in the day, and
oh, with John Smokes and Glavin and those cats. No, no, you got
Smoltz, Glavin, Maddox.
yeah.
That was a squad. And they had a squad there, and even John Rocker Although a lot of people here in New York hate to admit it, John Rockland was lights out as a closer. At least that one year he was. And this is a team that it's not like, you look at the pitchers with that Braves team, and it's amazing that they amassed it in, under Ted Turner, right? And in Atlanta. But this Dodgers squad, what they've built between Glass now, Blake Snell, Yamamoto. Yamamoto, to me, is the most underrated pitcher in Major League Baseball.
Oh, I agree.
He honestly, Joe, could be right up there. I mean,
agree.
Compared to Skeens, like it's sad to say, we kind of see Skeens change the angle of his arm a little bit. He's kind of shaky this year.
Right.
Yamamoto is getting better and better figuring out these American ball players. It's scary.
Right.
And then on top of that, Tariq Skubal is the best pitcher in the American League, and now he's with the Dodgers. So look, on paper, it's pretty scary.
So Joe,
but with Skubal, he's got to learn National League hitters because what happened to him against Dansby Swanson, everybody knows Dansby swings at the first pitch
all the time.
What does Skubal do? Threw him a fastball, and he just jumped all over it.
So Joe, here's the deal. Let's talk about your Cubbies, because you don't like me to call them Cubbies. I'll call them Cubbies. I'll call their asses Cubbies. They Cubbies. The Cubs. So here you go. The Cubbies are coming fast and furious. Tell me why this rise for the Cubs right now looks like some meteoric stuff along with the Boston Red Sox and the consistency of the Milwaukee Brewers.
First of all, they got a great manager. That's number one.
Who's their manager?
Two, what's his name? I'm thinking. You ask old man a name.
Well, that's why I got you on the show, Ryan, to find it out.
Who's the manager
for the Cubs?
Yeah,
Craig Counsell.
Craig Counsell.
Shortstop, Craig Counsell. Anyway, they got a good manager, but Pete Crow Armstrong has learned how to hit left-hand pitching because they used to make a fool out of him. And he's learned to use that aggression in the right way. Because he was going after bad pitches against left-hand. He was great against right-handers, and he's in contention for MVP.
Okay.
But they got Alex Bregman. I don't know who would ever trade Alex Bregman.
From Baltimore, right?
One of the most solid players.
He played with the Orioles. Didn't he play with the Orioles?
No, he played with the Astros, and then he played with the Boston Red Sox. And Boston made, I guess it wasn't a good enough offer for him. He wanted was it a no trade clause? He didn't want to move his family around.
It's funny because Bregman showed that rich boys can play baseball too. Because, he's the son of a major league executive. He's been around baseball his whole life. But he's got the sweetest short swing, very compact swing. Anyway, they just got people that are clicking. Nico Horner. Nico Horner. They got a nice squad. They're hitting, and they just picked up 2 pitchers. The other day, Kevin Glausman, who they get Glausman from? Was that from Toronto?
From the Blue Jays. He's been essentially their ace.
He just pitched 7 strong innings his first game out. And the Mets gave him a pitcher. Thank you, Clay Holmes.
Yep. When he comes back, that Cubs team, Joe, I got to say, I was thinking about you all week watching that Cubs team and watching PCA. I know you mentioned PCA, but he's the most electric player in baseball right now. He put that team on his back, and I know how great Bregman was in that series against the Dodgers too, and the bullpen was looking all right. And I love Suzuki. Suzuki, is that how you say his name?
Yeah,
but
Suzuki.
Man, PCA is just he's the kind of guy that you want to lead your baseball team. We look at right now the Yankees, how they produce without Aaron Judge. You can tell there's a guy missing, and he's kind of the silent type. PCA's out there; he'll make it from first to third base in like 5 seconds.
Yeah,
and it's a mix of his base running. I mean, everything. His defense. The guy's just unbelievable.
Okay, so before we leave, right, because the Cubs did win the other day against the Royals 6-4. Before we leave, touch on the Brewers right quick, Joe, because like I said, the most consistent team in baseball to me all season has been the Milwaukee Brewers, Ryan.
They don't swing at bad pitches.
Right.
They're the most disciplined team as a team. From all the way through that lineup, they're very disciplined. They don't strike out a lot. They don't swing at bad pitches.
They play small ball.
And they
play small ball.
And they work. Well, they also hit home runs too.
No, but I'm saying, but they'll work their
Yeah.
bases. If you watch them, they'll
Right.
butt Ryan, they'll move
Yeah.
a man over, they'll hit and run. They play traditional baseball, Ryan, the way I like to watch baseball.
As a Cub fan,
Yeah.
they scare me to death.
Yeah, until you get to the playoffs, because it's always the same old story. They don't really have, a solid three guys that are going to be able to go head on against
But
the
I'm gonna tell you
Dodgers
what,
or the Braves, even. And it's
they got the baddest man in baseball when it comes to pitches, though. The
yeah,
Miz,
he throws the
nobody
fastest.
can hit. Nobody can hit the Miz.
But would you say that he's like Nolan Ryan? Because there's all these comparisons to Nolan Ryan. My man Nolan Ryan went out there and threw that fast for how many years, Joe? It's kind of a crazy comparison.
Shit, damn near 20-some years, man. And he wasn't a big dude. The other thing about Nolan Ryan was an average-sized guy. You'd never know it by his statistics.
And all I know is how the
But
heck did the Mets ever get rid of him to this day? I'm like, what were those guys thinking about? They broke up one of the greatest pitching trios ever in baseball. Well, the Tom Seaver, Gary Gentry, Nolan Ryan, and I'm like, Kuzman.
Kuzman
They
and
have
Terry
four.
Kuzman.
You talk about pitches back in the day, Ryan. The Mets had a staff. Hey, when we come back, we're gonna take a quick break, and we're gonna go to the WNBA and stop
What
trying
about
to
the
force
Red
me,
Sox?
huh?
What about the Red Sox?
Oh, the Red Sox. We'll get the Red Sox next week, bro. But we got to flip the script right quick. And we'll be right back. And we'll talk a little bit about WNBA. But at least I ain't talking about the Mets, Joe. So stop it. I ain't talking about the Mets and their 4-game winning streak. We right back. Hey, folks, welcome back to What's Going On in the Experience here on Fox Sports 1280. Rochester, New York, and iHeartMedia. And I'm Nate Brown Jr. I got my man Ryan V down at NYC. And we got Joseph Hill, Minnesota Joe, who covers our WNBA. And our man Greg is in Germany today. He is there watching his daughter compete, right, Ryan, for the dressage horse show?
Dressage.
that's right.
Dressage. Thank you
Yep.
very much.
Dressage in
Dressage.
Germany.
Dressage.
Where in
Far,
Germany?
far, far, far. Dressage.
You know what? I couldn't tell you exactly where he's at,
Okay.
Joe, but he's out there, and you can see his adventures online at Greg Vaughn 23 on Instagram. Shoot him a message,
Cool.
see where he's at, folks.
Yeah.
Yep, because that's where he's at. He's in
But I have a
Germany.
really important announcement. I waited all week to make this announcement, and a few suckers out there beat me to the punch. But it's true, Nate. I am indeed eligible for the WNBA draft next year, and I will be declaring. I've been practicing outside, and I do identify as a woman, at least on the basketball court.
Hey, I'm doing
And it's on like Donkey Kong, Nate. So I wanted to make it official right here on Fox Sports Rochester that we, as in myself, I go by multiple identities and personas. I am declaring for next year's WNBA draft. You heard it here first.
Joe, so this is the wild part.
Not joking.
Joe covers the WNBA, right? And he covers the Minnesota Lynx, and they're having a fantastic season, Joe. And I'm gonna let you get to that with the season that they're having because I think it's tremendous. But when stuff like Ryan takes away from the legitimacy of those ladies, okay, and everybody clowning them and clowning the league, and because if they do make an asinine whatever decision on Joanna men, because that's what that's about to me. As you were covering the league, Joe, from your perspective, plus you're a journalist, right? And you cover sports. What do you think, honestly, man, about this whole scenario of transgender men becoming women and playing women's sports? I need to know what you think about that, honestly. Now, I know some people in your crew, don't like the stuff that you may say, and it's an honest assessment as far as I'm concerned.
Before that game on Sunday when they played the Indiana, they played the Fever. Fever has Sophie Cunningham, and Cunningham had made a statement that she didn't want to see trans players in the league and that they shouldn't be playing against girls. And she got eviscerated. Well, as I was walking in the Target Center on that Sunday, there was a big protest. Basically pro-gay, and I'm not anti-gay, but pro-trans. And then when the game started, because the Twin Cities is like super liberal. Every single time Sophie Cunningham touched the ball, she got booed, and it was 16,500 people there. She got booed. So then I made the mistake because my family is like the liberals in America. And I made the mistake of saying I agreed with Sophie Cunningham, and I thought they were going to disown me and run me out of the house, call me homophobic and everything else. And I swear to God, I'm not. I think to solve the problem, and Nate and I came up with this morning in our pre-show discussion. Have a trans league. There you go. Have all trans play each other. Fine.
That's dehumanizing us, man. That's the whole thing. I get it. You're not homophobic, Joe, but you're just you're a very modern man. Joe, I see you out here. You're making documentaries.
Go play against each other, and God bless you.
But Ryan,
Well,
here's
that
the
last
deal,
part
Ryan.
is probably
Ryan, here's the deal.
My granddaughter and other female ball players, because you look, my granddaughter's up here in Minnesota. She's small as it is. She's playing with these damn corn-fed farm girls. You should see these girls up here. They're huge. And she holds her own. She gets knocked around every game. I don't want to see her playing against people who have bodies like dudes. I want her to be safe when she plays.
Now, Ryan, here's the deal, right?
it's a
Because
vile
Joe, I
thing to
talked
say,
about
Joe.
this. But no,
I
Ryan.
want my granddaughter to be safe.
But listen,
That's a
fellas,
despicable thing to say.
let me get this in, because I got to get this in. Bruce Jenner, who now is Caitlyn Jenner, was the Olympic athlete. Can you imagine him transitioning as Caitlyn, going out in the Olympics, whatever her name is, going out in the Olympics, competing against women like Jackie Joyner Kershaw, okay, and you running the damn decathlon, all right, throwing the javelin, but you still got male genes in you. See, at the end of the day, I'm not homophobic. And this is the part that bothers me about folks. When you don't agree with them, then they put you in the hater category. Joe never said he's homophobic. He never said he never liked gays. I never said that. I don't think it is. There's a spot for everybody. And my contention is stop trying to force people to look at stuff the way you do, knowing damn well it ain't righteous. Knowing in your heart for a man to transgender to a woman and play women's sports. If a woman transgender to a man and go try to play football, I feel for him. I swear to goodness I do. Can a woman be a field goal kicker on a college football team? Probably so. But if the line get through and tackle their behind, it's a different story. Okay? Do you want to play against LeBron James when he steps in your chest and you can't lactate no more with the milk? I don't think you want to do that. So at the end of the day, I'm simply saying,
here's the argument,
stop
guys.
trying to force people. Go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. But now, all jokes aside, right? Obviously, I'm way too manly to declare for the WNBA draft. But all jokes aside, what transgender basketball player is even able to compete with any of the women in the WNBA? We see Enes Kanter and myself, being silly here and saying their, declarations for the NBA draft. Maybe he really will. But name one transgendered male that can actually shoot a basketball. Name one that can go out there and dominate, let's say, anybody on the, what are they called? The Las Vegas Aces, right? Asia Wilson. Let's see one of them.
It's the transgender.
So, look, if it was a real issue,
athlete, it's a transgender athlete.
Bring it on. If I'm one of the ladies out there, I say bring it on. So bring it on. Who are they? I don't even know. How good could they possibly be if they have to play? I don't want to, say something too offensive here. But that being said, I'm sorry. I think the girls will smush the transgenders athletes if they try to emerge onto a WNBA court. I'll wait for one. Name me one that could beat, let's say, Courtney Vandersloot. I'll wait.
There's one in Europe as
who? Dwight Howard? Come on.
No,
I'll sit here and wait. Now we.
You know what, Ryan? No, it's not Dwight Howard. See, you're going to get us in trouble.
And that's my argument, though. In all seriousness, like, where is the actual threat? Where are these magical transgender athletes that can dunk a basketball? I've never even seen LeBron in a wig dunking. I'll wait.
Well, I did see Greg. I did see Larry Johnson grandmama throw a dress on and dunk the basketball on a commercial. So I'm just
Yes.
keeping it a buck with you, bro.
Now,
So
yes, the
now
grandma.
grandmama,
Grandmama can play.
And there's the granny shot. Like, there's also the granny shot. Actually, we're totally overlooking the grandma shot. Besides that, no, I'm sorry. And I totally get the whole thing. Like, there was a transgendered female or male, whatever. I'm not even sure the technicalities of it, but somebody that was born a man and stepped into the MMA arena
and was
she was pounding women, cisgendered women, as they call them, natural women, pounding their faces in. That's a little different. That's where it's like, actually, when it gets to those, life or death type of. That's when we do need to call ICE or something. Something has to stop them.
You really shouldn't have a trans in the boxing.
They
got a
did, though.
combat sport. What?
But that's the point I'm making.
Yeah, it was horrifying.
It was horrible. It's horrible. Trying to be in spaces where you know you shouldn't be. And that's my point. I don't care if you trans. You have your own league, the trans league. And you beat up on each other. If it's boxing trans if it's whatever trans you got, that's it.
Trans Basketball Association.
There you go.
Yep.
You got it. And ain't nobody bothering you. All those 16,000 people that were booing that were booing Sophie, could go see them play and have a good time with the flags and everything. Ain't nobody trying to hate on y'all. We giving y'all your space, but stop trying to invade other people's space when you know damn well that is wrong. Yo, we got to take a quick break. And Joe, thanks, man, for hanging with us. Because I know you got to go someplace else.
Happy birthday, 17 years old, Miles Carter Golden. And then next week, Sylvia turns 14. So, yeah.
Uh-oh.
And if if you get lucky, Miles might be able to declare for the WNBA draft. If you get lucky, who knows?
If my daughter had her way, he would.
No. And he'd be the best one in the damn league. And it ain't even fair. He got to play against the damn Sylvie. He got to back Sylvie down low. That ain't even right, bro. That ain't even right.
And he does that all the time in the driveway.
That's my point. She ain't supposed to get no slack.
Her brother gives her no slack.
She ain't supposed to get no slack. All right, Joe. Later. Hey, we'll be right back. Don't go no place. We got our man Ray Ray Davison coming in the building to talk about some Rams sports, and will Aaron Donaldson be playing again? Joe was saying that. And what's going on with the Bills in their first 5 games, Ryan? You got to check it out. Their first 5 games, the monster. Can they go 0-5? Look up the Bills' first 5 games. The first game is against the Texans. It ain't no joke, player. Okay? So we'll be right back. Hey, folks, we are back, and they got our man Ray Ray Davison, former NFL player, Kansas City Chiefs, in the building. What up? What up, Ray?
Good morning. How you doing? Good to be back.
Hey, man, we here. What up? Good to have you, my brother. Ryan, man, off mic, we were talking about some football, Ray, and I had Ryan do some research because he's like a crazy Buffalo Bills fan. He's like a groupie. He's like a Josh Allen groupie. So I said, Ryan, what are the first 5 games of the Bills? I haven't had a chance to cover camp because I've been running around this summer. But I said, Ryan, what's the 5? Because they said the Bills got a new defensive coordinator. I mean, a new head coach, a new defensive coordinator. 5 or 6 guys from the team last year, Ray are no longer there, including Matt Milano and some other folks, Tre'Davious White, Joey Bosa. So they got like a whole new squad. So tell me, Ryan guy, what's their first 5 games out the gate?
Well, their first 5 games out the gate aren't really too easy. Like you mentioned, they're starting in Houston, Texas this year on September 13th against the Texans. Following that, on the 17th, they'll be back in Buffalo. I believe at their new stadium, right? Is this new stadium open up, or is it still being built?
Yep.
So it's a brand new stadium, right? And they'll be playing first the Lions. Following that, they'll be playing the Los Angeles Chargers. Then, following that, the New England Patriots, who almost won the Super Bowl. Right. And following that, going all the way to LA to face the Rams. which is definitely not going to be an easy task. So the first 5 games are very tough for the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
So Ray Ray, put on your ex player hat, and I know it's one game at a
Right.
time, but you're looking at this schedule, and every year everybody got you winning. Every year they got you in the Super Bowl. Ever since you've been in the NFL, they got you in the big dance. Here we go
Yeah.
again.
I mean, even listening to Ryan, I'm like, that's a tough schedule. And I clicked on to see what other games after that. After the Rams, you play the Raiders, which, new quarterback situation. I mean, you don't really know. Then you play the Ravens, and then you play the Vikings, and then you play the Jets. The Bills just do not have an easy schedule. But I have to lean a little bit with Ryan here. When you have Josh Allen, I think that you're never out of the game. It doesn't matter how good the team is. This is why we pay quarterbacks. This is why the NFL and these teams pay the quarterbacks $50 million, $60 million to these superstar athletes, these quarterbacks, because you're never out of the game with the Josh Allen, with the Patrick Mahomes, with those kinds of players. So I mean, do they go in 5? I'm not saying they don't, but they can pull out a win. I don't know which one, but they could also go in 5.
It could.
So Ryan, I asked you to pull up who's gone from last year's team, particularly on that defense, because Josh Allen made a statement. Hey, this is one of the best teams we've had. We going to to eat together. Everybody's sitting together,
Yeah.
camaraderie. So when you hear that as a former player on that team, Ray, how does that make you feel? Like, damn, what was I, chopped liver? I mean, I wasn't that good, but they got some guys, Ryan, that they got rid of. Like I
Yeah.
said, Joey Bosa, Matt Milano, and I at least like me some Matt Milano. And none of these guys have found a home yet, Ryan.
Well, the main
list right
piece
quick.
that's missing that was a significant part of the defense last year was Teron Johnson.
Yeah.
The cornerback.
Yeah.
And without that guy in their secondary, the Bills are sure to take a step back. You mentioned Matt Milano, Joey Bosa, one of the greats that we've gotten to see over the last 10 years. And then who do we got? Tre'Davious White, outside, another cornerbacker that's going to be gone. And of course, Shaq Thomas.
Right.
And David Edwards. They're starting left guard. So there's a lot of switch ups that are happening. But I still think the biggest switch up is, they got rid of their longtime head coach. So there is beyond just the players, everything is going to be different behind the scenes in Buffalo this year. We also, I say we, like I'm a Bills fan. I'm certainly not, but Mitchell Trubisky, their backup quarterback, gone.
Right.
Let's see. Curtis Samuel was never re-signed. Gabe Davis was never re-signed.
Yep.
Brandon Cooks was never re-signed. So, maybe Josh Allen had more to do with it than we think if he's, dissing some of these guys.
Some of the players, yeah. I mean, I think too, with the addition of DJ Moore, though, he's a really talented receiver. I think, we've seen just his ability when he was in Chicago and when he was with the Panthers. He never really we saw a glimpse of his potential greatness, but I think with Josh Allen now, he also has no excuse. You have this top tier quarterback, and he's going to be looking for you. So as long as you can get open, that could potentially be a 1,000-yard receiver this year. I mean, he has every reason to be one. So I mean, I think James Cook, the Bills have a good shot again to have a very high-powered offense.
And real quick, back to the defense, like it's the experienced guys that have been with the Bills playing there for years are now gone. So essentially, last year's defense were a group of guys that have been together. This year's defense, more athletic, a strong draft class that the Bills got to pick up some defensive players, but considerably less experience together.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
So Ray, on the defensive end, like Ryan said, the less experience. So how does that come in to situations when you have a Matt Milano who could switch off as the defensive captain? Because that's what he was, right? So you're missing that insight and you're relying upon, like Ryan said, talent and athleticism as opposed to some experience. How does that switch for you as on that new Buffalo Bills defense look, because Josh Allen does not play defense.
Right, that's very true. And I think because, like we talked about, Ryan talked about, and you talked about just the different coaching change, it's a completely different defense. And even, they have a new defensive coordinator, Jim Linhard or Leonhard, however you say his last name. Sorry. They're switching from a base, they're going to a base 3-4. And so, most teams, once they switch to nickel, they're running the 4-2-5, which is, the standard defense nowadays to cover, these crazy offenses. I mean, losing Matt Milano, I think that's obviously a big hit, but it also provides room for other players to step into that role. So, do we know who's going to step into that, that captain role? We don't know yet, but that allows whoever the person will be to step into that role and to claim that title, because that's what's going to have to happen. When you lose the veteran leadership, it allows players to step up, because at the end of the day, it's either they're going to step up or they're not, because they gave up 5 yards of carry last year. That is not a recipe for winning football.
Can I ask you something, Ray Ray?
Yeah.
Because this to me is that when I mentioned it earlier, Sean McDermott is gone after 9 seasons.
Right.
And I don't think a lot of people are talking about that. We rate Josh Allen as the top quarterback. You and me both. I think at this point he is the top quarterback. I know it's blasphemy to say this because he hasn't won a Super Bowl, but if you just look at how he was all year compared to a Pat Mahomes who's clearly hurting, he's not the same player after his injury just yet. I'm not saying he's not a top 3 quarterback of all time even.
Right.
But at this moment in time, it would be kind of crazy to speak out against Josh Allen. But that being said, Joe Brady, who was the offensive coordinator.
I speak out because he ain't win a chip.
We know how you feel, Nate. Joe Brady is now the head coach. How much of a difference is that really going to make in Josh Allen's career scope?
You know what? I mean, I know that Joe Brady is very, he's highly touted as a coach that, can create change. But I mean, I'm going to speak out of both ends of my mouth. And I think, you guys can maybe agree, maybe disagree. Coaching matters. I'm saying that coaching does matter. But at the end of the day, it's always about the Jimmies and the Joes. And Josh Allen is a Jimmy and a Joe. You can have great coaching. If your players are terrible, right, it won't really matter. They'll only have such amount of success. But I think Josh Allen, in order for Josh Allen to take the next step, I think that he really needs to, hopefully, like he's saying, provide the camaraderie, like you were saying earlier, Nate, and really galvanize the team to win, because that's the only way. I mean, you can bring in the best coach in the world, and that matters. But unless the team gels together and they can all get on the same page on all 3 phases, that's the only way Josh Allen's going to win, because they've been close. They've been close every year. And I would even, to your point, Ryan, he's gotten better. He's only gotten better. So it's something that tells you that there needs to be some other change.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to let y'all have the last word on that. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit. Because like I said, I'm old school. You got to prove it to me. You could talk all that preseason, all that whatever. Until you holding the chip, it's a moot point. And I'm tired of people getting anointed.
Can I ask you one last question, Nate? I want to ask both of you guys this because I don't know enough about this guy.
Yes,
but
sir.
Pete Carmichael is the new offensive coordinator.
Right.
Has anybody done their research? Is that going to impact things that much, knowing that Joe Brady's the head coach, or is that not going to be as important a role, considering Joe Brady's been with this team for so long and been working with Josh Allen for so long? How much of an impact can Pete Carmichael really make?
I mean, I know he was from New Orleans, right? I know he's been in the league a while. I'm not super familiar with him, but I mean, if my memory serves me correct, he was with New Orleans last year when they drafted the quarterback Tyler Shaw. He did some special things. So I mean, I don't. It shouldn't deter Josh Allen. It shouldn't take away from his ability. You don't really need much to run an offense with Josh Allen. So I don't think he's going to make some type of huge leap in his productivity in terms of Josh Allen, but I don't think it should really hinder his ability either. I don't think he's that great from what I know about him.
I did not realize this, but he was the offensive coordinator in New Orleans from 2009 to 2023.
Okay.
That is a long stint as an offensive coordinator.
Right. So hopefully we'll see. I mean, that's what I remember about him. I don't know where he was before he showed up this year.
That time And all that time, were the Saints marching
Well, they
in?
won a Super Bowl. They
No,
did win
they
a Super
weren't.
Bowl under his
So,
offensive coordination, if I'm not mistaken.
They
Yeah,
won
it's better
one,
than
right?
nothing. It's better than a lot of teams can say, including the Bills.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I'll take that one, and maybe you can march into Buffalo, help them win a Super Bowl. We're gonna take a quick break, and we're gonna do a little NBA NFL mashup because I need to know what the hell is going on with Ryan team, the Clippers, because somebody getting suspended out there in LA. That's all I know. Taking side sponsorship deals. We'll be right back. This is what's going on. Kawhi is going to be found out, and Steve Ballmer's going to get the business. We'll be right back. Fox Sports 12, baby. Yeah, Ryan, I see you sweating. I see you sweating.
Well, he's a step up from Donald Sterling. I'll give him that.
Hey, folks, welcome back for our final edition of What's Going On in the Experience here today on Fox Sports 1280 and iHeartMedia. And don't forget about the African American Vino Noir Wine Festival coming up October 3rd here in Rochester. Be a part of that. That's going to be a nice event on the 3rd from 4 p.m. to about 9 or 10 at night. So get your wine on and some other opportunities out there that day. As a matter of fact, if opportunities, I'm gonna go to my man Ray Ray right quick because we got him in the building before we bounce. So we got Ryan. Ray, is there a comeback for Aaron Donaldson? Because I know you're gonna be
Yeah.
trying to cover the Rams this season for us. So I mean, with Aaron Donaldson at 35, they're saying he can't do it. But I think if anybody could do it,
Yeah.
Aaron Donaldson
I
could
think
do
Aaron
it.
Donald, obviously, he's just one of the greats, one of the greatest players that, we've seen. I know he's kept himself in shape, but I think I said even last week that, there's nothing that's going to prepare you for playing football outside of actually playing the game. So, I mean, if he can get some practices under his belt, and get still into camp before the season starts, I think that he would have a really good shot to not necessarily being as great as he was, but obviously better than an average starter in the league. So if all this, I know Sean McVay joked about him having the greatest workout he's ever seen, obviously, but if he can make a comeback, come on, because playing with Myles Garrett, this is the year.
I was going to say, Ryan, playing with Myles Garrett, Ryan, what do you think about that?
Yeah,
Isn't that
well, I
kind of
mean,
insane, right, guy?
we're talking about the best defensive player in the NFL. Arguably, he might be the most important and impactful player in the National Football League going into this season. And Aaron Donald, you mentioned he doesn't have, he might not come back like 2024 Aaron Donald, but even just having him behind the scenes back there with the younger players and with the coaching staff, I don't see how it could be anything but a positive impact on the Los Angeles Rams. So
Right.
I can't wait to see it. Like they mentioned how he seems to be 1 foot ahead of where people thought he'd be as this potential comeback nears closer. But yeah, I only see it being an absolutely positive thing. I just can't get my head out of LA right now because of this horrible scandal that you mentioned before break, which you kind of insinuated towards.
Well,
Which I've been doing my research on this thing, damn it.
So thanks for So thanks for flipping the script for me because let's get back to LA. But this time the Clippers could look like they're getting ready to clip them damn wings. Because if it ain't your man, the other dude, Sterling, now we got Bomber. And here's the gist of it, folks. They're trying to circumvent the collective bargaining agreement with the NBA. That's the bottom line, okay? And they know that they need to pay some of these athletes and they don't have the money. So what do? I'm going to cut a side deal. I'm going to cut this deal and you're going to take this money in addition to some other paper I'm trying to give you. So now you got owners. And it's not just my man at the Clippers, Ryan and Ray Ray. Let's keep it a buck.
Yeah.
All of them are doing it. So they might have got busted like Spygate with the Patriots back in the day. Everybody cheats the football. If you ain't cheating, like my man Swagoo said, you ain't trying. So the same thing in basketball. I don't got all these $1 billion to pay you, but I'm gonna get you a sponsorship, and they should put in the collective bargaining. Hey, I ain't got 2 or 3 mil for you, but my man over here, Ray Ray, he got 5 mil.
I just can't wrap my head around, and call me corrupt, call me a horrible person, but I feel like this goes on in every sport and in every business relationship that involves a contract. Because if they're going to put a salary cap, there's going to always be a way around it. And if it's nothing to technically do with it, I don't even know how it's really an infringement. So the bottom line here, just so that if you're not paying attention to what's going on in the news, because this is all breaking, this is different than the other scandal,
Right.
I guess, technically.
Yeah.
No, this is like
Yeah.
as we're
So
talking,
right
it's
now, as
breaking.
we speak,
Yeah,
the
Ryan.
NBA is investigating whether Steve Ballmer and the Clippers used companies doing business with the team to secretly pay Kawhi Leonard millions of dollars outside of his official contract. So the Clippers could not legally pay him more than his NBA contract. So businesses connected to the team allegedly gave him unusually lucrative endorsement deals that required little or no actual promotional work. And I think that's the part that might have hurt Kawhi, because we see people whoring themselves out all day long on the internet. And Kawhi's the most he toured himself out is in a Drake
Ryan
music
is
video.
stupid.
It's the only thing I remember ever seeing Kawhi Leonard anywhere. So, this is a guy that we all thought was a robot for 10 years. This is a guy we heard him laugh at a press conference.
But he's the worst guy to have an endorsement deal. But think about this for a second, Ray Ray. He's the worst guy for you to even make the face of anything, because he's the face of nothing. So at least get a guy that you know is going to show up, Ray Ray.
The likeliness is, I've read a little bit from what I've read. The evidence don't look like it's in their favor. It's pretty damning. But I mean, the thing is kind of back to Ryan's point. I do think that, it happens across the board. It happens in business. It happens in sports. It's been happening. We've had people, on the inside come out and say, yeah, I paid this guy, or yeah, I tipped the game, or, so my only issue with why it's such a big deal is because you want to preserve the integrity of the game. And, it's kind of what's happening with the Dodgers. Not that, they're just getting everybody, right? Not that for me, because I love the Dodgers in LA, but when you have different loopholes, then that's what people are always trying to do. They're just trying to scheme. They're trying to game. And I just think that there needs to be less time spent trying to game and just be better as opposed to just sending some people money. Because the likeliness is Kawhi was getting paid. And like you said, nobody wants to just talk to Kawhi because he doesn't want to talk. Outside his ability, he's he doesn't want to. He's not that person.
That's a good impression. That was a great Kawhi.
He's the worst non-spokesman. He's the worst non-spokesman.
And a matter of fact, what makes it so suspicious are the provisions. And you, as a lawyer, Ray Ray, must have gotten a crack out of reading it. I don't know if you've read the actual literature, but Kawhi reportedly retained the right to reject promotional activities requested by Aspiration. And fine print, it says that, as well as the agreement gave him extensive control over content and distribution, whatever that content even was. And Aspiration could terminate the agreement if Kawhi was no longer playing for the Clippers, which is also a dead giveaway that there's something else going on. And multiple former employees characterized it as a no-show arrangement. So, look, follow the money. And I'm sure that it's way more than just Kawhi. You know how many people, come on, man, payola. It's a pay-to-play country we're living in here, man. It's capitalism.
Yeah, the same thing. It's yeah.
But at the end of the day, though, here's the deal. It's not just the Clippers. And this is what's so sad about the NBA, because they know once they take down the Clippers, they got to take down the rest of the owners in the league. Because as you said, Ryan and Ray, everybody's probably doing it. It's like, yo, I can't give you $4 billion or $4 million, but I'm gonna give you 3, and my man gonna give you 2. That's how that's gonna work.
Well,
but you're gonna still get your 5. Okay,
look,
we're gonna just chop it up for you a little bit, but you're gonna get your 5.
Yeah.
It took them long enough. The last Clippers owner was essentially anti-civil rights. Lord only knows what kind of pockets he had his hands in. It's always something. So, for what it's worth, I'd like to see some of these other athletes that are taking these deals, and they should give other people the same level of criticism. Because if anything, Kawhi should be getting roses for the fact that he's got something going on and he's still out there playing basketball. So, I don't know if he's a robot or what is going on exactly, but hats off to Kawhi Leonard, man. Leave that man alone. My man's out there balling right now, 27 points a game. And I hope that they void that trade. I don't want him going anywhere.
Yeah, I'll let him stay in LA.
Hey, man, we're going to get out of here because we got to go someplace. So, Ryan, thank you so much. Thank you, My man Ray Ray,
Always.
hopefully you're still in the building. Keep your
Yes,
recording
sir.
on as we finish up the show. But Ryan, thanks, man, as always, man.
Hey, thank you guys. I love you both. Go Yankees.
Can you hear me,
Oh, we
guys?
can hear you loud and clear, Nate. And everybody out there
Yes,
listening,
sir.
go to Fox Sports Radio, WGO.com to learn more about the show. And of course, go to our YouTube channel, What's Going On Sports. Over and out, folks. We'll see you next week.
Hey, man, until next week, God spares our lives. We'll be back. Peace.